Hello students. So today we shall be doing the problem I had given you earlier to attempt it. So if you have attempted, it's very good, and if you haven't, just take a look at this and try to attempt this in this way, and just try to solve as many as possible. Okay. So, what does it say from the previous class? If there are two parallel infinite sets, both charged uniformly but with surface charge density sigma 1 and minus sigma 2, that is, it is given that there are two infinite flat sheets, flat or plane sheets, you can say whatever you want. One is sigma 1 and the other is sigma 2. That means it is positively charged and the other is negatively charged uniformly. It is positively charged uniformly and it is negatively charged uniformly. So this is sheet 1, this is sheet 2. Now we need to find electric field due to this sheet. So for answer, let us start. E1 is the electric field. Follow me. Electric field of sheet 1. सो पहले सीट का जो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड है उसको डिनोट करेंगे हम E1 से. सो एज वी नो E इज इक्वल टू सिग्मा बाय 2 एप्सिलॉन नॉट. ये जनरल फॉर्मूला है इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड का. दिस इज द जनरल फॉर्मूला ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड. नाउ सिंस sigma is given here sigma 1, so E should be E1. So E1 is equal to sigma 1 by 2 epsilon naught. Okay, sigma 1 by 2 epsilon naught. This is your equation 1. And similarly, E2 is the electric field of sheet 2. So E2 is equal to what? Minus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon. In general, you can write E2 is equal to sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught. There is no need to specify this symbol. Okay. Why we are specifying this symbol? We are specifying this symbol to say that this sheet is negatively charged. Okay. Since this is negative charge, so a minus sign is there to specify that it is negatively charged, which means electric field are like this. For this sheet, electric field are like this. This is all about E2. It is all where from this point to this point. So I am doing for this portion only, and like this and like this. This is E2. Okay, electric field are inward for the negatively charged sheet. Okay, now for E1, what is the direction of electric field? Since it is positively charged, then it is outward going. It is outward going. This is E1. Okay, this is E1. This is E1. You can also do for a whole. So you need to find what is the question given, the net electric field to the left of the sheet at this portion. Okay, at this portion, what is the electric field? So E left, you can actually see that E1 is positioning in this direction and E2 is positioning in this direction. That means at such points E1 is opposite to E2. E1 is opposite to E2. E1 is opposite to E2. That means you have to write E1 minus E2. Since they are opposite to each other, then we can algebraically subtract one from the other. But we don't know that E1 is greater or E2 is greater. Since sigma 1 and sigma 2, we don't know that sigma 1 is greater or sigma 2 is greater in magnitude. Okay. So E1 minus E2. E1 minus E2. If we only ask about the magnitude, we have to put a mod. Okay. So now for E1, you write sigma 1 by 2 epsilon naught minus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught. Okay. So sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught. This is your net electric field to the left. Okay. Now let us do it to the middle. This is the answer of your first question. And let us do for the second question. What is the second question? The middle of the sheet. You can see that actually E1 and E2 have the same direction in the middle portion. In the middle portion, you can see this is E1, this is E2, and you can see that actually the direction of both the electric fields are same. They are aligned in the same direction. So they will add up. They are going to get add up. So E mid is equal to E1 plus E2. You need to add their magnitude only. Okay. So sigma 1 by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught, which will give you sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught. Okay, this is your answer for the E middle. I hope it is visible to you. Okay, now. So what is going to be this direction, which will be specifying that after some time. So let us find for E third, E right, to the right of the sheet. So you can actually see that in this case E2 is to this direction and E1 to the right direction. That means this is E1 and this is E2. They are actually opposite to each other. They are actually opposite to each other. That means we can actually, what we can do to get their vector addition, we can actually subtract them. Okay, we can actually subtract them, but we don't know E1 is greater or E2 is greater. In this case also, E left is equal to E right, that is sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught. This is your answer. Okay, this is your answer. The same as E left, because they are opposite to each other. So you got the answers. These are the three answers, and to specify its direction, I may take you to this position. Now understand. For first case, to the left, you have been given that sigma 1 minus sigma 2 is equal to by or mod is equal, divided by 2 epsilon naught is the net electric field. So if sigma 1 is greater than sigma 2, if sigma 1 is greater than sigma 2, then electric field, the net electric field is going to be this side. Okay. If sigma 1 is less than sigma 2, then electric field is going to be this direction, and you know this very much from the vector addition and how to find the direction. Okay, and in this case you can see that electric field, both the electric field are to the right, so you can actually write here that E right. Okay, or from the positive left to the negative left, and the same is in the case to the E right. From this case we don't know the value of sigma 1 and sigma 2, so you cannot specify the direction correctly. And if we are going to, if it is asked that you have to find the direction, then you should be writing that sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon that has the direction, which one will be dominant, that will be the direction of the net electric field at that point, at this. So in the third case, we have written that sigma 1 minus sigma 2, that the mode divided by 2 epsilon naught. If sigma 1 is greater than sigma 2, then electric field is going to be this direction. And now in the opposite case, if sigma 2 is greater than sigma 1, then a net electric field is going to be this direction. So you have to analyze that. Now if the condition is given that, after that the condition is given that sigma 1 is equal to sigma 2 is equal to sigma. Okay, this is the condition. That means the magnitude of sigma 1 is equal to the magnitude of sigma 2. Let it be something else, that is sigma. So for answer 1, you have seen that E left is equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 2, the mode divided by 2 epsilon naught. When sigma 1 is equal to sigma 2, then it will actually yield you 0 electric field. Now E mid, from equation you have actually found out that sigma 2 by sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught. Since these are equal and is equal to sigma, then sigma plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught, that is 2 sigma by 2 epsilon naught, which will give you sigma by epsilon naught. This is your answer. And For the third case, E write the answer is sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon naught, and we need to mod it. So since sigma 1 is equal to sigma 2, that will give you 0. So these are the cases. These are the cases which we have. So which were said to you that you are going to solve it. And if you haven't solved this properly, then you can take the help of the solution which have been posed to you in this board. So whatever whatever the problem arises, please feel free to ask me. I will try to give a response to everyone. So the details of contacting me or getting connected to me have been given in the description box. You can actually get all the data there. And if you have any problems, you have any doubts, you can actually ask me there. And if you are not getting any concepts right, you need more clarification, you can actually write there and I will give you a better response. If not possible, I will try to correct that thing in my board. Okay, up until then just practice more, try to get involved in more problems, not like life problems. Get involved in the problems which have been given to you, in the physics books. Try to solve them, and up until then, take care. So happy Ganesh Chaturthi throughout the country. Thank you.